pride. Pride is something that not only myself that I've dealt with recently, but I feel like pride is something that as Christians we may tend to struggle with at times. And we just want to have a certain outcome, a certain experience we want to go through, but we just don't want to let that experience go in pursuit of what God's plan is for our life. And for me personally, in my life growing up, well, primarily after high school, the main thing that I wanted to do at the end of my life was primarily, run track after high school, straight to college, because track and field was something that I enjoyed doing. Shortly after high school, I fell for a love for the sport, and it was something that I really wanted to do long term, And, slowly after high school, I ended up coming to California, and I ended up running for, a short period of time. And there was a point in time when God was trying to show me something along the routes when I was running track and field. And, being able to have the same sort of feeling in track from a fitness perspective, but being able to have that same feeling into a different area of life. And that's where something in regards to how pride, and as Christians, we just don't want to let our pride go. We want to have a certain outcome, a certain experience for our life. And we just don't want the plan that God has for our life, because we see the plan in front of us that we see for ourselves and what it can do for us. And we, as Christians, we have that pride, that ego, that we don't want to let it go, because it's something that we value in our innermost body, we value internally, and we don't want to let that experience go. We don't want to let go of that actual goal that we actually have. But what about God's goal for our life? And there's a difference between the goal that we want and the goal that God has for our life. The goal that we want for our life can only take us so far in life, but the goal that God has in our life can only take us to a certain extent. But beyond that extent is what we can actually reach through God's plan for our life. But what if you go through our own understanding of our own plan to what we want? The only goal that we can actually able to achieve in this life is going to be from a minimal standpoint. It may not even be able to break through that standpoint, because our understanding of this road, our understanding of our own goals, of our own internal and personal goals, may not be what God wants for our life. And pride is one of those things in the Bible that, through a man, as a man, it can really get in the way and block, the blessings that God truly has for our life. And being able to have that sort of impact, it feels more, if not equivalent, if not greater than actually having the opportunity to actually run track. Although track was, a goal of mine, after high school, but being able to have my mind opened up to the possibilities of pursuing something in reach of track and field, which is being a fitness coach, not so much a personal trainer, but a fitness coach, being able to provide guidance, direction to really bettering somebody's life, impacting them, giving them nutritional value, advice, general direction to what it needs to be, how they can really progress their life and their health standpoint to where they really want to be. And it's really about providing that information, educating them about the basis of health, the formalities of it, why it's important. Because believe it or not, there are many people out there in this world who don't really put health as a priority. And by not putting health as a priority, it really causes not only frustration, stress, maybe depression, anxiety into their life, no energy, not being able to have the best outcome for their life due to the fact that they just didn't want to really take care of the body. And just that as a whole perspective of itself is more than enough for me to really step out of my comfort zone to educate and teach those about the fitness aspect of itself, the relevance behind it, and how it can really change one's life. They really stay committed, they stay driven, and they stay the course. That's the most importance behind it all, to really be aware of pride and how pride can really affect your decision-making ability, even in your life on your day-by-day basis, because you never really know how it can really affect you daily. Because pride, our ego, pride, somewhat of the same thing. It can get in the way of how we do certain things and how we just move through this life. And if there are some things that we don't know, because as not just as a man, but there are things in life we just can't do on our own. We got to come to terms and accept that and learn from those who have done it, who are ahead of us, who are where we want to be, or who are just doing something right. And clearly we're not doing something right. So there are times you just got to let the pride go, ask for advice. Hey, I'm doing something wrong. Could you explain it to me? And by doing just that, not only will you just save yourself time, but you will gain knowledge on how to do that exact same thing again in the near future, or you do find the exact same answer or whatever to that problem, to the equation, to whatever it was, and apply it to a different problem down the line. And the same application applies, but being able to let go of your pride, let go of your ego, let it slide, because holding on to pride is the enemy of your life. Holding on to pride is going to be the downfall of your life. Holding on to pride is going to block you from the greatest opportunities that may come into your life if you're not fully open-minded and aware about it. Pride is something that not only do or have I recently been talking about, but it's something that's been weighing on my mind recently, how pride really comes into our life, how we perceive it, how we think about it, how it affects our decision making. And in terms of us, even me wanting to read the Bible as more frequently but not doing so, is it pride? Is it a lack of intention? There are many things that could really be a derivative of it, but pride is something that we got to be fully aware of, and how it can really affect our life, affect the people around us, and just making small, simple decisions that may not mean something now, but in the long term, it's going to mean something to the surroundings, the environment, the people around you that may be affected by it. Pride is the enemy of your downfall. That's going to be it for this video. What's up?